it's before and after.
Yeah.
Okay, so positive, negative, and it goes full 12 volts in. It's got a bubbler set up to allow you can control the amount of air that's going into the tank, and it's also got a pressure release valve here in case there was ever too much stuff built up. Okay, so I got a 20 amp fuse as a safety precaution. If this ever drew up over 20 amps, it would blow the fuse because we don't want to kill the alternator, you know, ultimately make it harder on the vehicle.
Right.
I could run it on an on and off switch. What I have this is I basically have it on a fuse inside the fuse box of the car that's only connected to the AC of the ignition switch. So when your key's on, this is on.
Right.
So when your key's off, the unit's off. This is simply a precaution, whereas if this were to get hot enough to draw over 20 amps, the fuse would blow and it would shut the system down.
Right.
So that's where we're at right there. And again, pressure release valve, because this is ready-made. This is ready-made hydrogen and not storage. So we
or compressed.
Yeah, that's right. We don't want to have any kind of storage. If this was to continue making hydrogen on an engine failure or something like that, it would just blow off and dissipate into the atmosphere.
Right.
Right. We got two vacuum lines. One is set up into the air intake assembly right here. This would be for acceleration when your vacuum is being shifted through your air fuel mixture is being shifted through your breather intake. And on idle, we have it going directly into the throttle body of the intake manifold,
right?
Where vacuum's at its highest on idle. So yeah, what I can do is I can start the vehicle up, and I'll give you an example too. Like when you suck on a straw, if you plug the bottom, you're not going to get any air through it. So it has to have a continuous cycle of air. So the air bubbler is connected to a 6-inch hose that goes down to the bottom, puts fresh air into the bottom, and the gas comes out the top.
Right.
So that's how it works to be continuous suction. So
right.
When I start this up, before I even put power to it, you're still going to see bubbles, and that's not hydrogen generation, that's just straight air.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm going to see if we can see that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is pretty bright in there.
Hopefully you can see that.
I can control the amount of bubbles, so it looks like you can see the bubbles start to take off there. I can turn it right down by tightening the bubble screw up at all and not letting hardly any air in at all.
Right, yeah.
So.
Right. So
strictly air running off the back of the engine in a continuous loop.
Yeah.
So are you ready to do fly power?
Yeah. So now we're going to put the fuse in.
We're going to complete the circuit for the 12 volts to go through the positive and negative electrodes, which should generate plenty of hydrogen gas. And you should start to see gas production off the electrode now.
Yeah. Now, hopefully you can see that, but you should be able to see the whitish colored gas, I guess.
I just came to a realization too, what I may do is I may switch from using a map sensor enhancer to going to an EFI, which is electronic fuel injection enhancer, because basically this controls manifold air pressure, and if with the amount of oxygen that's passing through the air manifold, since there's going to be an increase of the hydrogen and oxygen, I'm trying to control the amount of fuel injection that's being sent to the injectors via the manifold air pressure sensor. If I switch that to the electronic fuel injection enhancer, it's going to control the amount of voltage that the O2 sensor is going to be sending to the same unit the map sensor does, the ECU, the emissions control unit. So the oxygen sensor obviously is the end point, it's the last sensor in the system, it's inside your catalytic converter, and it tells the computer too lean, too rich, plain and simple. So it wants to keep it at a steady ratio of 14:7 to 1, which is the proper air-fuel to atmosphere ratio. So I think I may have better luck running with an O2 sensor enhancer rather than a map sensor enhancer in regards to controlling the amount of fuel that the injectors are receiving from the ECU.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so that was a pretty frustrating answer, although I'm sure I can get it. It's just, and I may end up running both, who knows? Yep. We've got a city and a highway section here, so once we have the map sensor enhancer working properly, two potentiometers are going to control the amount of fuel injection that your ECU is getting based on the signal from the map sensor enhancer. Again, it's going to read a lot more oxygen inside the intake manifold because of the hydrogen generation. So it's by design going to tell the ECU that it's too lean and to send more gas. So we're trying to avoid that by taking away some of the voltage that it would say through some resistors and a potentiometer. Now this is set up, but right now the capacitors or the resistors are not resisting back any of the electricity that's coming through this. So right now when I flick the switch to turn it on, it's basically leaning the car out so much that it stalls the engine.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now. Just I'm going to have to redo the resistors on the inside, put some stronger resistors that can withstand that 12 volts coming through, and then be able to play with it that way.
Yeah.
So that's basically, it's in operation. It's just not working. It's just not being used at the moment, just because of the resistors that need to be changed.
Yeah.